Hello guys, welcome to my channel IMAT with Iman. Today I'm going to discuss the difference between IMAT and MDCAT. For those who don't know, MDCAT is the medical admission test for medical universities in Pakistan for both medical and dental colleges. That's the name is like Medical Dental College Admission Test. And of course, if you are in this channel, you would know what IMAT is, which is the admission test, medical admission test for universities in Italy. Since a lot of you were asking me to a lot of questions about MDCAT and is it easier than IMAT or is IMAT more easier or can you how do you prepare it and like what's the difference because I have got a lot of Pakistani students on my channel and I've replied a lot of you as well but since I got a lot of similar messages so I thought might as well make one video about it. So let's go for it. So since exams got a lot of similarities, especially when you see the structure of it and like the subjects, the majority is biology and chemistry for both of these. And even if you look at just the topics in the syllabus, it seems very similar. Obviously, because these both are the entry test for medical universities but there are still a lot of differences especially when you start preparing it and if you have solved both of the past papers and if there is someone who sat for both of the exams they would know since I did set for both of them both IMET and MDCAT. I know there would be a lot of differences while preparing for it so that's what I'm going to discuss and I'm going to discuss how which one is easier or not like I'm going to answer all the questions I got so let's go to the next page without wasting your time. Page for those guys who don't know what MDCAT or National MDCAT is. I'm gonna discuss specifically for the entry test of Pakistan since I said for that as well. So like I can better compare it. But for the people who didn't set for MDCAT or who are not going to sit for MDCAT either, this video can also be helpful for you because I'm gonna give the tips and how to prepare for IMAT, like comparing it with MDCAT, of course. But that those points could be helpful for you. So yeah, let's go further. So as this page says, the MDCAT has an eligibility criteria which is 65% marks in intermediate. Like you can't sit for the exam unless you have 65% or more than that in and intermediate. Meanwhile, I don't. This isn't a criteria for IMET. Some universities might have this, like when you send them the enrollment and everything, they might check it. Like, but the as like for the entry test, the criteria is 12 plus years of education before you sit for IMET. But some universities, as I said, some universities might have the criteria like different criteria, and also some embassies might have specific minimum percentage in which they based on which your visa chances might differ. But yeah, for an MDCAT, you need to have minimum 65% in the intermediate. Meanwhile, there is nothing like that mentioned in IMAT. You just have to have like 12 plus years of education, like past those years, of course. So now comes the pattern. So like if you just look at the pattern as it is, like just look at how many questions both of these have and like the subjects, you might not find it really different. Since for both of them, it's biology and chemistry has like more than 50% of the syllabus. And then for NMDCAT, there comes physics. For IMAT, physics and maths do have a lot of questions now. Like there used to be 5 and 5 for both, but now there are more than that. We don't have maths in MDCAT, but still, like maths and physics aren't they are important, but like logical reasoning and general knowledge are more important if you have solved the questions, you would know that most of the students struggle with those more than physics and maths. Then for NMDCAT, we do have English and then logical reasoning, and in IMET we have logical reasoning and general knowledge. Just letting you know, these both have logical reasoning questions, but if you have ever solved the past paper or whatever, uh, the type of logical reasoning questions they both have are very, very different. Uh, the questions that I met might include calculations and everything, but and critical thinking questions are very different as well. For an MDCAT, they are usually they used to be critical thinking, just critical thinking and like statements and everything, no calculation. When I sat for it, I don't know if there's anything changed. I did some research before making this video, but still, if anyone know that like if anything in this video is wrong or you guys know there's some change or anything, just let me know. Just put it in the comment and I'll change that thing in the video. I just don't want to misguide anyone. So yeah. But like logical reasoning are in both of them, but like they are pretty different and more percentage in IMAT. So the main difference I find here is again logical reasoning, and then physics being the less smaller portion, and then uh, you would see I wrote like for IMET we have 60 question and 100 minutes, which means more than 1 minute per question, right? And for NMDCAT we have 200 questions and 200 minutes, which means you have 1 minute per question. Considering you don't have much of calculations in logical reasoning as well. You do have calculation in physics, but you you have a lot of questions without calculation as well. For those who did wrote an MDCAT or who are going to write an MDCAT would know what I am talking about, right? So for an MDCAT, we have 1 minute per question, but it's still a lot since we don't have a lot of calculations. If you we are allowed with calculator for both of them, just letting you know, you would know that, but I'll just mention that as well. But for NMDCAT, it's a lot because not a lot of calculations and mostly theory, and the questions aren't that. Uh, for IMAT, if you have solved past paper, I'm mentioning past paper again and again, so you would know past paper. Solving past paper is very very important, right? You guys know that. So you need to have done those things to have those ideas, even though you can't just rely on just watching this video, right? But still, for IMAT, 100 minutes are usually not enough for 60 questions because we do have a lot to read in biology. Biology aren't straight questions either. For MDCAT, they are usually straight questions. If you know that, you know that. If you don't, you don't. Like for MD, IMAT, you would see we have the entire situations. We have paragraphs. You have to read a lot. You have to think a lot, and then you answer, even though you know the concept. But sometimes you still have to do a lot, right? You know what I mean. For physics and maths as well, there is a lot of calculations. For logical reasoning as well, there is a lot of calculation. Only general knowledge is the portion where you it's just that it's either you know or you don't, right? For NMDCAT, most of the subjects questions are like that. That they are just small questions and options, and only physics is the question where you need calculations, and some of the logical reasoning might take time, but otherwise 200 minutes are much more than enough. I'm talking about my personal experience. uh, Again, if there's something that's changed, just let me know in the comments. Okay. So yeah, that's the biggest difference. Just don't confuse it by like if you have prepared for an MDCAT and like you're like, oh, 60 questions and 100 minutes is good. No. Next, next is the marking criteria. That's different as well. The main difference is the negative marking because I made this negative marking and MDCAT doesn't have negative marking. It used to have it like it used to be -1 for a wrong answer, but now they don't have negative marking anymore. For LMD, for IMAX, it's -0.4 for a wrong answer and 1.5 for a right answer. Meanwhile, for NMDCAT, it's +1 for every question, for every right answer. Okay, even though it's just -0.4, which doesn't seem much compared to one right answer, which is +1.5. But still, like it can pile up to be a lot, and since it's a competitive test, even zero point 0.1 matters, right? Uh, so yeah, that's the main difference in the marking. Then there's a difference in eligibility as well. So eligibility to apply for MBBS. So before I told you that you need to have a minimum 65% in an MDCAT to sit for an MDCAT. Okay, in intermediate. Okay, so merit criteria is very different as well. So before I did told you that we need to have 65% in intermediate to just sit for an MDCAT. This one is like you need to have 65% to in an MDCAT to apply for MBBS, which is med school, and 55% for BDS, which is dental school. Okay, and merit calculation goes like 50% MDCAT and 50% IMAT score. Meanwhile, for IMAT, there is no passing marks. Okay, I mentioned that most of you must know that, but I did came across some people when I was sitting for IMAT who went like, oh no, there is some sort of 50% or 60% passing marks for IMAT, and if you get that, you can just directly go to a school you have chosen, which is wrong. It's a competitive test, and there's technically no passing marks. Anything more than zero is considered passing, but you only get to sit in the university or get a seat there if you get your name in the merit criteria or merit list in the end. Okay, so not everyone, if it doesn't go like that. I don't know if you guys came across people like that. I don't know, but yeah. Then merit calculation is also only IMAT score, no intermediate score, and nothing else matters in the end. During the application, yes, it can. During visa, again, some investors might consider it, but for merit calculation or merit list, it's only the IMAT score that matters. One thing I want to mention here. Uh, I think I might have mentioned it in other videos as well, but for IMAT, usually only IMAT score matters when it comes to merit list and getting the seat. But let's say two students are competing for one seat, and they both have same IMAT score. Then what they consider is they see who got more score in logical reasoning. Uh, so if both of the students have same score in logical reasoning, they go for biology, and if they both have same for biology, they go for chemistry score. So that's how it goes. Otherwise, I guess like these are exceptions. So yeah, I thought I should mention that as well. Let's uh, okay, so next step is preparations and like because I got a lot of questions like, oh, how do you prepare for both of them? Is it the same method? Like, are those same things apply on both of the exams, or because like the topics are usually similar and everything? So firstly, you should go for past paper, like separate past paper for both of them. For MDCAT, solve MDCAT past papers. For IMAT, solve IMAT past paper. Like for a lot of practice questions as well. For both of them, these both are important. For books, for IMAT, I did give a lot of books in my other videos and everything. But you should usually go for Cambridge and A-level textbooks. For NMDCAT, you should prefer federal board textbooks or Punjab board textbooks. Uh, okay, so like then the main focus should be okay. So hey, this one thing is main difference. Okay, so when you prepare for IMAT and or NMDCAT, but you should focus on biology and chemistry of course because they consist of more than 50% of the exam, right, for both of these subjects. But for IMAT, it's usually more going for more conceptual stuff. And for NMDCAT, for the people who did set for NMDCAT, you should know concepts, of course, but like it's usually more like cramming stuff, or they do give lines from the book as well. So it's more like you have to learn more. You have to go for concepts, but it's more cramming stuff and everything. The most like even for physics, they do ask for constant numbers and everything. So yeah, I think this is one of the main biggest difference. Like the main focus is usually different. Again, if you do solve past papers and everything, you would better know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you need to go for two different stuff. Like while preparing for it, these both things are pretty different. Uh, okay, so like for my experience at least, because I set for an MDCAT I guess in 2021, and then set for an MDCAT for IMAT in 2022. So I didn't know everything about an MDCAT, and I did study everything. But like in the beginning when I started solving past paper, it seemed like I don't know anything, because the pattern is very very different, and the way you prepare it, the way you put your brain uh, the tips you follow and everything, they are very different. Again, those are the same topics but different ways to prepare it. So yeah, you need to keep different things in your head while studying for these two things. Then university selection, again, university selection is now I'm talking about non-Europeans. For non-Europeans, for students sitting for IMAT, you get to choose only one university and one subject when you pre-enroll, which is I think already open right now, and you guys should know about it as well. I have mentioned it a lot, but yeah, for Pakistan, for NMDCAT, it's usually based on domicile, and you get to choose all the universities which falls under your domicile or your province. Okay, for uh, uh, Italian universities, you just get to choose one university and one program, but any university uh, which offers medicine in English. Yeah. Next. Okay, so easy or difficult? This is the most asked questions by the students, like which exam is easier from the other, or with preparing for what is more easier, or which would take less time and everything. Like a lot of you ask about it. So what I tell everyone is you just can't compare it. It depends on person to person. Like for me, I would say IMET was easier because I do prefer more okay, conceptual stuff and everything. Uh, and for people who aren't good with logical reasoning, or who aren't good with more conceptual or more critical thinking stuff, they are usually good with MDCAT. So does depend on person to person, since these both are very different type of exams. Like even though they both are for medical universities, again, if you have solved past paper, or if you have set for it, you would know what I'm talking about. But you just can't compare it. For some students do find MDCAT much more easier than IMAT. I do find IMAT easier than MDCAT. So yeah, you just can't. Next. Okay, just let me know. That's it for the video. Let me know if you have other questions. Again, let me know if there's something that's changed, or after about the video. Like if there's something I mentioned in the video and that's changed for the coming year. I did some research, but still if you if there's something like that, just let me know in the comments. I'll make the change in the video, and let me know if you guys have other questions. I'll do my best to answer it. And I guess that's it. And yeah, one more thing is, I think I did put the message in the community till now as well, about I did started making videos after a long time, right? So I did change the Instagram page as well, since a lot of you have asked for it as well. So you should go and check it in the description, and you can ask the questions there. And if there were any questions you guys had when I wasn't putting the videos and I wasn't active, because I was just not doing anything about it, I had my reasons about for it. But if you guys have any questions, and if, like the questions that aren't answered, and it's not still not too late for me to answer them, put it in the comment section in the video, and I'll try my best to answer